throw them in the chat. We already have a few in the chat. Moving along, Sonia, you've posted about a housing forecast. Be sure to click to everyone when you're posting that so everybody can see it, because right now I think you have it on hosts and panels. So okay, let's go and get started. So referral fees. It sounds like such a, why are we driving down on this topic today? And the reason why is because C.A.R is actually shining a spotlight on this as well, and attempting to put themselves in a leading position on this rather than a reactive position following a lawsuit. As you know, we are continually being attacked by, attorneys out there looking for a payday. So they're scrutinizing every aspect of this industry, and so C.A.R believes that referral fees and how they are handled could use some better methods. And so what they've done is they've put out some guidance on them. And a couple new forms, which we will go over at the end. So let's get right into that. What is a referral fee? So legally paid referral fees involving real estate professionals typically involve receipt of compensation in exchange for referring a principal for representation in the purchase or sale of a property management, or other licensed real estate activity. Since agents are not permitted to receive compensation except through their broker, the best practice is that all referral fees paid through the brokerage. Is disclosing the receipt of a referral fee legally required? And it always has been, but now we're bringing it into the light a little bit more to make sure everybody is abiding by the requirements. So an agent must disclose all things of value received. The fiduciary obligation of full disclosure prohibits an agent's receipt of secret profits. An agent has a fiduciary duty not to acquire any material benefit from a third party in connection with the transaction or the agency relationship unless with the informed written consent and agreement of the principal. Additionally, the DRE requires real estate licensees to disclose the receipt of referral fees to their client whenever those fees relate to the client's transaction. Are there other reasons realtors should disclose referral fees? And if you are a member of NAR, C.A.R, and local board, you are a realtor. So this doubly applies. Article 2 of the Code of Ethics requires realtors to avoid concealment of pertinent facts, and the motivation behind an existence of a referral fee may be material to the principal. The principal may want to know if the realtor representing them has an obligation to pay a referral fee, which may impact the negotiation of the compensation amount or flexibility to adjust to expenses in a particular transaction. Additionally, in light of recent lawsuits and legal activity, the real estate industry remains under scrutiny to have even more transparency. For those reasons, we advise that brokers should disclose payment of referral fees to other brokers, even if real estate law doesn't require it. Do realtors need to disclose the receipt of referral fees even if they don't affect the client's costs? And that is a yes. Disclosure is still required even when a referral fee does not change the principal's costs or compensation structure. It is immaterial whether the transaction is otherwise fair to the principal or the principal receives exactly the price wanted for the property or pays no more for it than intended. There you go, Sonia, you got it. All right. So as a realtor, do I need to disclose the amount of referral fee received? And yes, realtors should disclose the amount of the fee if known, or the way it will be calculated. California law prohibits taking or claiming a secret or undisclosed amount of compensation, commission, or profit. If the exact amount is not yet determined, disclose that a referral fee will be paid and provide the details as soon as they are finalized. How should referral fees between agents working under the same broker be treated? Payments to different agents under the same broker are not treated as referral fees, but rather distribution of compensation by the broker. Payments are categorized as referral fees for legal purposes when they are paid between separate brokers involved in the referral arrangement. Can licensees accept or pay referral fees from or to settlement service providers other than other real estate brokers? We probably know this. California law prohibits the receipt of referral fees in any transaction where payment is received from any escrow agent, pest control, home warranty company, title insurer, controlled escrow company, or underwritten title company. Additionally, under the Federal Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, known as RESPA, real estate professionals may not accept or pay referral fees, kickbacks, or anything of value from or to settlement service providers, including lenders, title companies, escrow companies, home inspectors, and other providers involved in closing services. RESPA is generally applicable when the sale involves residential 1 to 4 units to be occupied by the borrower when the property is secured by a federally related loan. So, this is why we don't receive gifts and such from title companies and escrow companies and things like that. So, I'm sure, you're familiar with this. Who can receive a referral fee under federal RESPA law? Under this law, real estate professionals may refer principals and receive a referral fee from another broker. This is an explicit exception to the general prohibition against referral fees as long as they are not acting in the capacity of a mortgage broker. However, it is illegal under RESPA to pay a non-licensee a referral fee. What about non-RESPA transactions? Generally, we're dealing with commercial when we're talking about non-RESPA, but for non-RESPA transaction, such as commercial, it is legal to pay a referral fee to a finder, in quotes. But a finder is one who does not engage in any licensed activity. Their role is limited to introductions, and they can have no part in any negotiation or solicitation. Any activity by the finder beyond mere introduction, however slight, results in the finder being classified as an agent. Paying a referral fee in this context would mean paying a non-licensee for a licensed activity, which is a significant violation of the real estate law. So is there a difference between a referral and a lead? And yes, there is. A referral involves a licensed real estate professional directing a principal to another licensed professional in exchange for a referral fee paid between brokers. And there's a ton of these out there, but certain lead generation services are different. Some services generate a list of potential sellers or buyers through marketing or other means. They will provide a list with contact information for potential clients. They then sell these lists for licensees to try and solicit, and the payment is not generally classified as a referral fee. To make sure that you are purchasing a lead list and not paying an improper referral fee to an unlicensed person, payment must not be in any manner tied to or dependent upon a closing, nor should the payment be dependent upon endorsement of the referred agent. So I put that in italics because that is a major factor, is if the payment you are making is tied to or dependent on a certain property closing, then that is where the problem comes into place. Using C.A.R's Realtor Acknowledgement and Disclosure Form. So this is the new RAD form. We're going to go over that. This is coming out in the next form release, which is next week, I think. I think it's next week. I forgot to look up the date. So why is C.A.R emphasizing, actually, I'm going to take a pause real quick, so there's a couple in chat. So how are these pay at close markets legally being paid? So we have a master referral agreement with them. Actually, every time you take a pay it close lead, there is a referral agreement that is automatically generated. So if you're talking about an Op City or Zilla Flex or anything like that, those always have a referral agreement actually tied to them. Um, Also, what about agents that are still licensed but don't have their license as an agent with a broker? Uh, if they are not a broker and they are NBA, meaning no broker associated, they cannot accept a referral fee because it has to be paid to the broker. So if they are accepting uh, a referral fee or demanding a referral fee be paid to them for a client they might be referring to you and they do not hang their license with a broker, they legally cannot accept that. That would be illegal. Another question. So how does that work with a referral from a company saying, okay, we just did that one. Um, oh, actually, not really. So how does that work with referral from a company saying we can pay at close a referral fee, yet they are not licensed? They always disappear when I ask that. That would be actually not compliant with the law. So they need to, it's broker to broker. You have to remember it's broker to broker, not agent to agent, not agent to other person. It's broker to broker on the referral fee. So if they are unlicensed and they are not hanging they're not a brokerage that specializes in that kind of thing, or they're not an agent hanging their license with a brokerage, technically they cannot get paid in that fashion. Next one, I had an agent wanting to receive a referral fee and she still has a license with C.A.R, but not with a broker. She cannot accept that referral fee because it is broker to broker. Out-of-state referrals, is it the same? It is, although this is a C.A.R disclosure, and these are C.A.R forms that we're talking about, and California law that we're talking about. Other states may have a different law, but you want to abide by this as a California licensee, just to make sure that you're not going to get snagged with anything. So, Op City leads come from a broker. Um, as far as I know, they are licensed and they accept leads in this fashion, just as Zillow does. At the pay it close stuff, the referral stuff. Um, Another one to be like was it Movato, Movoto? They're a brokerage as well, but they're a heavy referrer. Upnest was a brokerage. They're a heavy referrer. Um, What about new construction who call as a referral fee? Those are licensed agents hanging under a broker, so they can legally do that. Um, how about if an agent opens the door for other agents? Um, that's not necessarily a referral. Um, I guess it could be if you're earning the cash, it should be paid through the broker if that's what the question is. Um, if it's a licensed activity, which technically entering into a home is something that is licensed activity using the lockbox, so on and so forth. So that should be paid through a brokerage, yes. All right, I think I got all those. So let's talk about the RAD form. Why is C.A.R emphasizing referral fee transparency? So C.A.R has long supported compensation transparency. Um, I guess that's their kind of their new slogan that they put out on everything. The updated RAD form provides realtors with a standardized, easy to use method for disclosing referral fees so clients clearly understand how their real estate professional is being compensated. The revised RAD form will direct the agent to disclose compensation from multiple sources, their present or potential ownership interest in the property that is the subject of the transaction, and referral or other fees received or paid. When should you present the RAD form to the client or principal that you referred to referred to another licensee, excuse me. Present the form as soon as you know the referral fee will be paid or at the first appropriate point in your working relationship. Ideally, this occurs when signing representation agreements or when referring the principal to another licensee. Other than the RAD form, will there be anywhere else to disclose a referral fee? Yes, while the RAD fee is the primary tool that they are putting out for us for referral fee disclosure, it does not replace other required documents such as the buyer representation agreement and the listing agreement. Because these forms were already undergoing updates, C.A.R also added a checkbox in the BRBC and the RLA if a referral fee is being paid. If checked, basically zip forms, if you're using that, will bring in the RAD form to ensure consistent, comprehensive disclosure across the transaction. So, when you check the box and it adds a form for you, it should be doing that on these other compensation agreements. What if the referral fee is negotiated after the transaction begins? Just disclose it immediately. The RAD form can be presented at any point, but earlier is always better for clarity and trust. What if I receive a referral from an out-of-state agent? It is still good practice to disclose that you are paying a referral fee. This may be a pertinent fact to many clients. Referral fees paid across state lines are common, and the RAD form helps ensure transparency regardless of where the referring agent is licensed. What happens if referral fees aren't disclosed? So failing to disclose receipt of a referral fee could expose a realtor to the following legal liability, DRE discipline, arbitration, disciplinary complaints, and or loss of client trust. Let's see here. I got another question came in. So I'm curious if I get this disclosure and consumers will be aware of outside companies' payouts, but what would a consumer think of this referral fee? What options does it give principals? So it doesn't necessarily give them a say as to, can you or can't you? This is merely a disclosure. You're letting them know that you are getting compensated in another way as well through the referral. So it's not necessarily that they can say, well, I don't want you to get that and you're already in the transaction. It's a disclosure saying that it's happening and I'm letting you know that it's happening. Best practices for explaining referral fees to clients. How should I discuss referral fees? Use simple, direct language. For example, I'm going to refer you to broker X. If you decide to work with the broker or one of their agents, they'll be paying me a referral fee. Or a referring agent will receive a fee from my broker for introducing us, and I'm disclosing it so you have a complete picture of how everyone is compensated. You can say this fee is between brokers and does not change your costs or how I represent you. Another one is referral fees are common industry practice, and I'm sharing to ensure full transparency in your transaction. So when you're putting it in a positive way, it does help you build trust with your clients. What if my client has concerns about the referral fee? Reassure them that referral fees do not impact your duty to act in their best interest. The fee typically does not increase their transaction cost beyond the amount in the listing or representation agreement. The purpose of the disclosure is to support transparency, not change the transaction terms, ensuring the client has a complete and accurate understanding of how their realtor is compensated. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the RAD form. So this form is replacing the realtor acknowledgement that you may or may not have known about. It's a fairly uncommon form, but now this is going to be a very common form. So it's called the RAD. It's Realtor Acknowledgement and Disclosure is what it stands for. So makes the benefits of using a realtor more succinct. Added a section to make disclosures required by the Realtor Code of Ethics, including relationship to a principal and disclosures related to compensation. So this is a copy of the form. This is in draft mode because I actually don't think it's been released yet. I think this coming out next week though. So we got 3 sections here. It's a little one pager. First section is realtor information disclosure. It's basically saying not all real estate licensees are realtors. And it kind of talks about realtors being held to a code of ethics. Uh, and then 1B is disclosure. I am a realtor. I represent that I am a realtor member of NAR and California Association of Realtors, and then you type in your local board. Or you check the box, I am not a realtor, and it says I am not obligated to follow the code of ethics. So it's kind of a little jab there, in my opinion, but this is the disclosure. Steps to get service and support talks about ways that the consumer, i.e. the principal, can get support by, either going to C.A.R or NAR for consumer support, or basically contacting the broker. Other disclosures, compensation for multiple sources from principal on agent side of the transaction. There's a couple boxes to check on that if that's happening. Now C is where the referral fees come in. So it's be 3C referral or other fee received from or paid to another broker, obtain signatures from agents, client, or principal referred. So it says, if not previously disclosed or agreed to by my client or principal that was referred, I'm disclosing to my client or principal that my broker is I receiving or paying at closing of a covered transaction a referral fee, or receiving a commission, rebate, or profit on expenditures, or if not in violation of RESPA, receiving a financial benefit for recommending real estate products or services, as in compensation. And then you're going to check box 1, 2. You check box receiving compensation. My broker is being paid by whatever the source is. You can call that OpCity if you like. Number 2, paying compensation. My broker is paying compensation to. Well, actually, this would be the other way around. So you're going to check 1 or 2 if you're paying or receiving. It says my broker is paying compensation to. That's where we would put up, such as OpCity for paying them the referral fee for providing that lead over. And then 3 is the compensation amount or percentage. If you don't know what the amount is going to be, maybe you're doing this early on, just put the percentage in there if you know what the percentage is going to be, and then you'll be covered. Real estate firm goes in there as usual, all of your information, and then seller and buyer signatures. So, and this will just be added in if you click that button on your BRBC or your listing agreement. So it'll be part of the package that they sign. Form RFA. So this has been around for quite a while. We use this quite often, actually. But they did make some revisions to this one. So they added a reference to the new RAD form related to disclosing the amount of the referral fee being paid or received. So again, and they also changed the name. So they have the referring agent. So if I am an agent sending a client to another broker, then I am the referring agent. The representing broker is going to be what used to be the recipient broker, but they are going to be the one representing the client that I am referring over to them. So that's how that works there. And then it says representing agent, that would be your name as the agent or associate licensee, and then all the information. You can put the principal information there as well. And then some of the changes, some additional changes are referral fee So number one here says, in consideration for the referral of principal from referring broker, representing broker agrees to pay referring broker as follows: A or B. It's going to be a percentage of the total gross compensation, or B, so, or a dollar amount, and then B, such compensation is owed if principal enters or has entered into a contract to buy, sell, or lease, or other. They have number two here: properties or transactions covered, compensation is payable for the transaction specified in paragraph 1B. It says only for the first property transaction specified in 1B during this term of the agreement. So you can check B or C. It's going to be for the following properties only. You check that box and then name the properties, or C, which is probably going to be the most common one because we typically don't know what our clients are going to be buying with that agent, for any and all property transactions specified in 1B. They have the referral period defaulted to 12 months. You can change that up or down. Time and compensation. Compensation is payable upon recordation of the deed or other evidence of transfer resulting. Not much change there. And then down at the bottom, they added in this section here for office use only. If agents may initial below to acknowledge having received and read this document, because you notice that there's only places for the brokers to sign this, not the agents. So, because again, referrals are broker to broker. So the agents can go ahead and initial this, stating that they acknowledged. And it says agents may use realtor acknowledgement and disclosure, the RAD form, to disclose to the principal in a prospective transaction a referral fee paid or received. So, because you notice there's nowhere for the principal to sign to acknowledge this. So basically, if you are referring out the client, or actually if you're receiving a client referral, you're going to have this in place between brokers, and then you'll want to use the RAD form when you're doing your BRBC or listing agreement to say, hey, I'm paying out or I am receiving compensation from this other source. And that is your disclosure to your client at that time, the principal. This right here is the form between brokers. So hopefully that flow makes sense. Let's see, I would believe agents will come across clients that do get upset about the referral fee if they didn't know they were being referred in the first place. It could happen, and this is all part of transparency. You know, for some reason, some agents are, hesitant to talk about referral fees and that they get paid for other sources. And, this is something we need to be transparent about. This is a business. We don't run a charity here. None of you are either, I'm sure, when it comes to your real estate activity. So, yes, we get paid for things. Attorneys do it. Everybody does it out there in the professional businesses. They get compensated in some way for referring business out. We do the same thing. So be transparent about it, find a positive way to spin it. We had a couple examples there. I don't think it's a negative. Um, Hopefully this does also help with who you're referring your clients out to. Because now if your clients, and if they didn't know before and you're disclosing it now that you are getting paid, hopefully you are referring them to reputable people they're going to be in good hands with, and not just selecting a name out of the phone book for lack of better explanation, I guess. So yeah, hopefully, let's see. Yeah, I agree. If I think it'll be presented property, most clients will have no issue with it. This has been my experience in the past. Yeah. So, and usually when you say, hey, I'm going to refer you out, I mean, the inclination is you're probably getting a referral fee, but I'm sure there are some consumers out there that don't know that. So this is just bringing that to light a little bit so that, this is all just to protect our licenses, really. So um, hopefully you learned a little bit. I always learn stuff too when I do these presentations. Next week we are going to do some of the new forms rollout, where we will be going over those, what changes are on the forms, if there's any new ones. It's not a huge rollout, but there was some minor things. The RAD was on there, the new referral agreement is part of that. So we're not going to cover these next week, but we will cover other ones. So, please join in that. And that's going to be getting close to one of our last meetings. So we always take a break between Christmas and New Year, and then we come back, the first Monday of the new year. So be sure to join. We only have, one or two meetings left. And then if you're going to the Christmas parties, I'll see you there. And if you need anything during the week, always give us a call. And hope you have a great week. So we'll talk to you soon.